What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Real Fan Sports. I'm here with Nonfiction. What's up, Non?
What's good, man? How you doing, brother?
Doing good today, man. Ready for our Week 3 NFL predictions. We got some bangers. We've had some surprises in Week 1 and Week 2. Let's see if we can get all these guesses right today.
All right, let's get it. Let's get it.
All right, first up, game 1 on Thursday night between the New York Giants and the San Francisco 49ers, which we will be live for on our channel. So make sure y'all go ahead and turn those notification bells on. That way you can join us live for that game. I think this is a easy one. I don't even think there's a whole bunch we need to talk about with it because Giants lost Saquon Barkley and 49ers are continuing to be dominant in the league.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I definitely agree with that. I agree with that.
So 49ers with an easy win. They're favored by 10.5. Do you think they cover the spread?
I'm gonna say no because I think the Giants did a lot that last game, even though they didn't play this a lot. They played a lackluster team, but still, they played really well for that comeback victory. So with having that Saquon, that's a big loss. But I still think they lose to the 49ers.
Yeah, sure. I think they're gonna lose to the 49ers for sure. And I think they might be able to pull it in within 10.5. I mean, we'll see though. We'll see. Next up on Sunday, we're gonna have 12 o'clock game between the Titans and the Browns. Titans 1-1, Browns 1-0 currently as they are playing the Steelers as we're making this recording. Browns now without Nick Chubb, going up against the Titans. Who you got? It's in Cleveland.
Originally, I picked the Browns to win this, but now that Chubb is pretty much done for the season, I might pick Tennessee. I think I might go Titans. I don't know. I really don't know because both teams are without a real run game look terrible.
Yeah, I mean, we're finally going to get a look to see what Deshaun Watson is actually made of now without his crutch in Nick Chubb. We're going to have to see him throw the ball, use his wide receivers. We're going to have to see a nice run of committee with Ford and Strong to try and pull this thing out. I'm going to go Titans. I think Titans are going to pull through in this game.
Yeah, I think Titans might pull through, even though I don't like their quarterback, and I think he should lose all his games so he can be out the league finally.
Horrible.
He doesn't. He's a bad quarterback, man. He keeps getting jobs. He just should not be playing.
All right, well, we'll both go with Titans on this one, man. Jesus Christ. Look, man, he did have a touchdown pass last game. Next up, we're going to have Falcons and Lions. Falcons 2-0 right now, man. They had a good win against the Packers. A little come from behind. We're down 13, able to pull off the W. Bijan Robinson is turning out to be everything that they expected. Good on him. He's, I think, currently first or second in majority of running back categories right now. And they're going up against the Lions, who are 1-1. Got the win against the Chiefs and then lost big last week. Who do you have winning this game? It's going to be at Ford Field.
At first I would have chosen the Lions because the Lions had a really good home record, but they ended up losing last week to Seattle. So I still want to go with the Lions, but I feel like the Falcons are a sneaky team right now. They're very sneaky in how they look. Most people think they're not going to be that great of a team because they have the youth in most positions. But I'm a reluctantly pick Detroit, to be honest with you, reluctantly.
So I'm going to go ahead and pick Detroit too, but I'm not even going to be that reluctant with it. I think now with David Montgomery, who went out with a little injury, and now we're about to see Jahmyr Gibbs just full on in his explosiveness and playmaking ability. I think the Lions are going to win this game pretty handily. I think this is going to be a good Detroit win.
I hope so, especially for my fantasy.
Especially fantasy. Next up is going to be the Saints versus the Packers. The Saints were able to pull off a win against the Carolina Panthers on Monday night just by the tip of their toes. What do we think about Saints and Packers now?
If the Saints O-line can stay together and actually play as a unit, I pick the Saints. I think the Saints have every aspect is a positive to go against that Green Bay defense.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think the Saints offensively have just been struggling. Defensively is where we're going to win games. And I think we continue to win games against quarterbacks that are still trying to find themselves. I know Love is no rookie like Bryce Young was, and I think he's more talented than what Ryan Tannehill is by far, but still young quarterback, still trying to figure out how the whole NFL works. I think they're going to give him some trouble. I had the Saints winning this one, but I think it's going to be just like the other two. I think it's going to be really close.
Yeah, if we win by a field goal, possibly.
Yeah. Next up, we have Broncos versus Dolphins. Dolphins currently 2-0. Broncos 0-2, trying to still get their first win. They got a Hail Mary pass that was completed for a touchdown, but could not convert the 2-point conversion to tie it up and go into overtime. And then the Dolphins have just been looking pretty dominant regardless of who they play for. Their offensive power is possibly the best in the NFL right now. I think it's hard to argue against that.
Right. Yeah.
They're doing everything, anything, whether it's the run game with Mostert, something that we talked about early on that we wanted to see more of. He showed out. He had a good game against the goodness. He had a really good game against the Patriots last week. I would like to see that continue against this Broncos team, even with their tough defense. But Miami is just too much offense for the Broncos to handle.
Oh, I agree. I definitely think Miami's offense is too much for the Broncos. And it's the one thing I keep saying is Russell Wilson is something wrong in that clubhouse. He does not look good. He doesn't look comfortable in the pocket. Regardless of how some of the good plays he made last week, he doesn't look good. And the things I've been saying, even Kurt Warner, if you go to Kurt Warner's YouTube, he said the same exact thing. He doesn't look comfortable in the pocket. There's something wrong.
There's something wrong. Man, what has happened to Russell Wilson? I know we've talked so much trash about him, but he just was so good for so long, and I don't think it's a system quarterback type thing. I think he's just lost himself at some point, and there's just no fixing it at this point. So yeah, Dolphins are going to go ahead and take this win here.
Definitely Dolphins win.
Next up, Chargers versus Vikings. Chargers are 0-2 right now. They did lose Eckler, and I think Eckler is going to be out again this week. Joshua Kelly, who everyone thought was going to be okay for game 2 after having a good game 1 performance, he struggled. I think he only had 29 yards rushing, which is definitely something that hurt the Chargers. And then the Vikings, who are 0-2, that, man, they cannot stop turning that dang ball over. Oh, my goodness. Whether it's fumbles, whether it's an interception, it doesn't matter. But the thing is with the Vikings is they do put up a lot of points, as we saw they did against the Eagles, trying to make a comeback in a game that was some garbage time points, but they still were in it basically until the end. What do we think about this game? This is going to be a fun one.
It's one of those things where one of those games where you feel like Herbert should have a good game. He should have a good game. There's nothing saying that he should not have a good game, even with Eckler being out. But it's something that I don't know where it is, where they just don't look. Something is not working there. I don't know what it is. It's just something they just can't finish strong. They can't do it. And of course, with Cousins and his crew, the turnovers, the fumbles. The last couple games he's had like four interceptions, 4 or 5 forced fumbles. It's just looking disgusting, man. It does not look good.
Yeah, it's been a rough one. It's been a rough one for them. I'm going to go ahead and say the Chargers are going to get this win, mainly because I think Joshua Kelly is going to have a better game. We saw the Vikings just get demolished in the run game against the Eagles. I know the Eagles have one of the best offensive lines in the league, but I think the Chargers will be able to get that run game going. It's going to allow Herbert to settle in a little bit and able to pull off the win against Minneapolis at their home stadium.
Oh yeah, if Kelly turns out and like you do believe he is, I can see the Chargers pulling this off because Madison for the Vikings, he's not the answer.
No,
he's not the answer. So I'm going Chargers as well.
Then we're gonna have Patriots versus Jets. Patriots are 0-2 right now. Jets 1-1. What do we think about this? Initially I was going all Jets, but now with Zach Wilson back there, I don't know if he's going to be able to handle this Patriots defense that, even though they have dropped 0-2, it hasn't been because of their offense. It hasn't been because of their defense. Their defense has looked fairly well throughout these last 2 games. What do you think?
Mac Jones actually didn't look crazy the last game. He actually looked pretty decent.
Yeah, he did.
The offense, I think they're missing some pieces. I don't think they have a full complimentary crew that actually makes Mac Jones look good. I mean, I know he also played well because number 12 was there in the building. So, but the Jets, man, if it wasn't Zach Wilson, I'd probably pick the Jets. I might even say the Jets might even possibly lose this. The only reason I think they'll win is because their defense is going to win it for them if they win.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with the Patriots, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, Mac Jones has looked a lot better, and I am one to admit that, but a lot of it has been hiddenly good, just like how it was his rookie season. They went back to that quick snap, quick pass type situation. He's throwing the ball with I think within like 2 seconds of receiving the ball, and they're just doing a lot of dink and dunks to work the ball upfield. You know, that'll work for a little bit, but I don't know if that's going to continuously work against a great defense like the New York Jets. And for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and say the Jets will win this one, but they have got to get Breece Hall working a lot more and a lot sooner in this game. I don't know why he only rushed the ball like 3 or 4 times last game. It makes no sense. He verbally came out saying how he was upset that he didn't get more attention on the offense, and they better answer that man and get him the damn ball, because they need to get that run game going to not only take pressure off of Wilson, but he's your skill player. Get him going.
Yeah. Zach Wilson, the game can't be relying on him, unfortunately, and he's the quarterback. So I'm going Patriots.
Okay. Finally, we got one that we disagree on. We'll see that one. That was going to be fun. Next up at 12 p.m. on CBS is the Bills versus Commanders. Commanders 2-0 with Howell doing his thing.
Yeah. Sam.
And then the Bills, getting their redemption win against a Raiders team who had a good week 1 beating the Broncos, but struggled in week 2 when they faced the Bills. What do we think about Commanders and Bills?
I'm gonna tell you this: that's not don't even consider it a redemption win, because the Raiders didn't even play the same from the second quarter to the third to the fourth. So they were going to win that game regardless, because the play calling in the second half was terrible for Genius Josh, as they call him. It was bad.
Oh Lord, Genius Josh.
Yeah, well, that's what they've been calling him for years. But
okay.
this one, the defense of Washington could be a pretty big determinant for this game, with the disconnect between Allen and Diggs too, as we've been seeing throughout the first 2 games, and Allen just making too many mistakes. The Raiders couldn't compliment. They couldn't pick off any of his passes. But with this opportunistic Washington defense, there's a possibility that can happen a couple of times.
I think this could be a big upset for the week. I really think it could. I'm picking Bills just because I think the Bills overall are a better team than what the Commanders are, but this is one that I can see the Commanders winning, and then people being like, "Oh shoot, who are these guys? Like, what is happening?"
I agree on everything you just said. I will pick the Bills, but I think the Washington Commanders defense can be the determining factor to win this game for them.
If they disrupt Josh Allen or get an interception early, then it's going to be like a set of dominoes going down a hill. Yeah. Next up is going to be a division rivalry game between the Texans and the Jaguars. Texans have dropped 0-2 and have just not looked great. CJ Stroud didn't have a horrible outing last week. He was able to get Nico Collins involved, his favorite receiver so far. They are working on getting Mechie, the third, back after finally recovering from leukemia. But the Texans are just struggling overall, as we expected. We hope they continue to get better, but I don't see it happening this year. The Jaguars come off of a 1-1 record. Trevor Lawrence, Etienne got injured, got banged up a little bit. Not sure on his status for this game. What do we think about Texans and Jaguars?
Etienne just didn't look great. They tried to get the ball to Jones, who is now questionable to play this next game, this next weekend, and he got shut down. I don't know, man. Like, the Jaguars, they looked good coming into the season, and the ceiling is high for them still because of the youth of that team and the quality of all the different skill positions. And I don't think the Texans are going to win, but I'm going to go Jaguars. To be honest with you, I don't think they're going to win. I don't think Houston's going to win.
Yeah, I think the Jaguars are going to be very pissed off about how they lost to Tennessee Titans. I mean, Titans are a team that have dominated this division for quite a few years now. Jaguars felt like it was their time to take over this division, and everyone else believed that it was time for them not just to take over, but to dominate it, and to lose in week 2 against the Titans with their struggling offensive squad. It was a bummer. I think they're going to come out and blow the brakes off of the Texans this week.
Yeah.
Colts versus Ravens. I'll tell you what, Anthony Richardson has been surprisingly really good. He did get taken out with a concussion, which is unfortunate. Hopefully, he will be able to play this Sunday. And then as far as the Ravens go, losing J.K. Dobbins once again, I feel like this happens every single year. Now rushing with Gus Edwards. They're trying to work the ball along. Lamar Jackson has looked decent so far, not phenomenal, but he did have a great game last week. What do we think about this game?
Anthony Richardson has to learn this is not college. You can't run on everybody, and when they hit you, they welcome you to the NFL. So
especially as a rookie, they ain't playing with you with these hits.
They're not trying to get sunned by a rookie. So I think he needs to learn how to slow down and utilize his skilled players, his attributes that they give to him. They need to bolster up that O-line as well. I definitely think Lamar Jackson and the Ravens should pull out the W. That, to be honest, Zay Flowers should have a great game.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to mention next.
I think Edwards will have a good game too, though. I think he will actually have a good game.
Yeah. I mean, this is a game that should be easily won by the Ravens. Like you said, Zay Flowers is turning into being a player that is extremely special for the Ravens. He's had a instant impact on both those games. OBJ went out with a minor injury, and it just really didn't matter. Zay Flowers came in, and he feels like a leader in that wide receiver room way earlier on than what anyone could have expected. So I think the Ravens are going to go ahead and take this one fairly easily.
I agree.
Next up is going to be Panthers versus Seahawks. Seahawks coming off of a big win after a big loss that they took against the Rams. And then Panthers dropping 0-2 to both division rivals. The game is going to be at Lumen Field in Seattle. Man, the Seahawks should win this game head over heels. I mean, the Panthers, even though they have done some things decently on defense, now with injuries to not just their cornerback, J.C. Horn, but now their Shaq Thompson as well, who looks like he's going to be out for a little while. It's one of those things where all the positives that the Panthers have for trying to be competitive in games are kind of slipping away, and we still have yet to see Bryce Young elevate his game as expected. We don't expect to see anything like that until week 6. I think Seattle's going to go ahead and walk away with this one.
Yeah, I think Seattle's going to pull it out too. They're just in a positive high right now, and that 12th man in that stadium is so loud. People don't understand how loud that stadium really is. And Bryce Young, with all his attributes coming out of college, still a great player. It's going to take some time for him to become comfortable. And just like in the predictions I stated, most rookie quarterbacks they win less than 35% of their games that initial season. So I understand people want them to win, but understand that it just comes with growing pains. It's just growing pains. So it's going to happen. And just prepare for the future seasons anyway with rookies.
I mean, we saw in this game, we saw fans like heard a couple boos and stuff like that, and some different things like that. It's like, guys, y'all can't rush his progression. He's got to take his time. It's going to take him a little bit. Just because y'all had high expectations for your team that was a little bit overzealous doesn't mean that Bryce Young is just going to instantly be fit right into an NFL offense in a big man's league. It doesn't work that way. Give him some time to develop. I think he will be fine because he has also showed some things that I really like about him. He has really great patience. He has good understanding of the game. Things are going to continue to slow down for him. He has to learn how to not second guess himself. If this is what you're going to do, you need to go and do it. We saw that a couple times in the game against the Saints as well, where he had opportunities but would hesitate and then would either get sacked or throw a bad ball because he just wasn't confident in what he wants to do. So it'll take some time, but it's not going to happen this game. Seahawks will go ahead and get this one.
Yeah, definitely Seahawks will get this. And I will say this, Panthers need to learn how to use Hurst. Like you have him there for a reason. Use him.
I mean, he should be your rookie quarterback's best friend right now. Tight ends are always scapegoats for rookie quarterbacks. Next up, we're going to have Bears versus Chiefs. The Bears stink. Oh, my goodness, do they stink. And the Chiefs will be playing them at Arrowhead. What do you think?
At Arrowhead, Travis Kelce is back, and he already has 1 week under his belt, 1 game under his belt. I do believe the Chiefs will pull this out convincingly, especially if the Bears are still going to use their quarterback as a running quarterback and not just a pocket quarterback, because that's where they fall the most. That's where they fail the most.
Yeah, they gotta build up some confidence in him throwing the ball. Like, it's almost like you want to tell him to just stop running for a little bit and just get comfortable moving the ball, even if it comes with some game mistakes, and not just being like, oh, well, I'm just going to escape and go run and just do whatever because I felt a itty bit of pressure, or I'm too scared to throw the ball because I think I'm throwing interceptions. If you never get to settle in and feel comfortable moving that ball, reading the defense, reading your wide receivers' routes, creating timing with those guys, you're never going to be able to escalate their game. The Bears have never, in like I believe their whole entire franchise, have been able to take a quarterback from conception and turn them into all-pro style quarterbacks. I think Justin Fields is going to need to leave before he can get better, because the Bears just aren't doing a good job at putting him in situations that help him progress as an NFL athlete, as a star, because this dude is athletic as can be, but he just can't showcase it with the Bears right now. I think the Chiefs are going to win this one. They're favored by 13, and I think that's about right.
Yeah.
325. We're going to have on Fox. We're going to have the Cowboys versus the Cardinals. Cardinals are 0-2. Cowboys 2-0. That defense is absolutely insane. It's actually crazy to think how good they've been. If you look at fantasy, or if you're into fantasy, the Cowboys defense right now is third best in fantasy football points over any player, team, or anything like that. They have the third best. That's how great this team has been with Micah Parsons and Diggs. It has been something special to watch, and we said it before. Cowboys keep relying on their defense. Their defense keeps coming to show up, making that job easy for Dak to where his mistakes don't matter. Oh, they're going to be good. They're going to be good. Oh, yeah. Cowboys blowing them out.
Oh, yeah. Cowboys is destroying the Cardinals. It shouldn't even be a close game. If it's a close game, something happened really bad. Somebody left the game, because they should get blown out. I'm picking Dallas. Reluctantly.
Yeah, right. All day. Sunday night, Steelers versus Raiders. Now, what you think about Steelers and Raiders, man?
So, as a Raiders fan, I know the O-line is just not good. It's not holding up. We have some issues on the O-line. We have issues in our run defense. We have issues not having a secondary edge rusher. Just watching today's game with the Browns and Steelers. The Steelers, even though their first game of the season wasn't the best game for them, this game they came out in force, and that defense is what shut down that offense, especially after Chubb went out. And now with Josh Jacobs not playing well because he wasn't there for any preseason, no practice with the team, he doesn't know to follow his rookie blockers, it's going to be a problem.
Probably doesn't trust him either. Yeah, I mean, Josh Jacobs right now for the first 2 games is 28 carries, 4.6 yards. That's under 2 yards per carry.
He had -2 for last game. Wow. Out of six carries for -2. Wow. He did look good in the pass game, and Adams may be out with a concussion, and Myers still might be out with a concussion.
Yeah. It's going to be a rough night for the Raiders, as the Steelers are trying to get their fans to gather back behind them to start talking trash on every single YouTuber that picks anything against them. Luckily, this game, they won't be coming at me. I'm going to have the Steelers winning this one. I think there's just a lot of problems going on with the Raiders that still need to be fixed, and the Steelers look like they actually learned their lesson from game 1 and are working on improving their game currently against the Browns.
I do agree, and I think in their prediction, I actually picked the Steelers to beat the Raiders. So, yeah,
it's what it is.
Before the season even started.
Is what it is. Monday night, which again we will be live for the second game, not this first game. The first game will be between the Eagles and the Buccaneers. Buccaneers have been surprisingly really good, man. It's kind of shocking. Baker Mayfield, statistically wise, is the best quarterback in the NFC South, above Derek Carr, above Bryce Young, above Ritter. So he's came out and has looked fairly good. Mike Evans looking damn good. A lot of people were kind of signing him off, especially with the news coming out that he wasn't planning on re-signing next year and he was planning to go to another team. It was interesting to see where his heart was going to be at while playing for the Bucs. But he has 12 receptions, 237 yards, and 2 touchdowns already for the season, looking really good. And then the Eagles, just looking dominant as we expect them to. I mean, they've had a couple wins that we feel like we're a little bit closer than what they should have been. I think some of the garbage points in the Vikings game and then even the Patriots game just kind of becoming too lackadaisy too early allowed them to get back into it. What do we think about this game?
Oh, I definitely think that it's gonna be Eagles. Like, I think the Eagles are gonna do their best to remind everybody how good they really are. You know,
Mhm.
especially with Swift. If Swift is still the starting
God, I
starting
hope
back,
so.
if he's, I believe the other back is supposed Gainwell's supposed to come back, but
Should.
I need to. If I'm them, I'm putting Swift as a starter and give him another opportunity to see what he does.
Yeah, I know a lot of people right now in the fantasy world and fantasy pages are saying trade Swift now. That's the best you're ever going to get from him. Trade him while he's high. And I understand that, but I think Swift is a underrated running back. I don't care what Lions fans have to tell me that, he isn't. I think Swift was not only explosive in certain runs, but he was very smart in certain runs,
Yes.
which admittedly did not see him do a lot with the Lions. He was very patient. He waited for his blockers to come. And with that type of patience and this skillful O line that they have for the Philadelphia Eagles, he is going to make a career out of running behind him. Like they're gonna have a field day with it. So I got Eagles winning this one as well, giving their Buccaneers their first loss of the season.
Yeah, I got Eagles as well.
And then finally, our late night game, which will start at 7:15 p.m. Central Time on ESPN and also live here on Real Fan Sports. The Los Angeles Rams versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Currently, the Cincinnati Bengals are 0-2. Joe Burrow is dealing with some cap tightness that he was dealing with in the beginning of the season or during the offseason that made him not be able to practice that much. He wasn't a participant in any of the preseasons. But he is a little banged up right now. That offensive line is looking worse than ever. They're having trouble getting both of his receivers involved into the game. Higgins finally got a couple of catches, but other than that, it was about it. Jamar Chase not having that effectiveness like he did last year, and the Bengals are looking like they might just be having a dud of a season, while the
I think so.
Rams.
Yeah.
While the Rams sitting at 1-1 after a big win against the Seahawks, and then last week dropping, what do we think about this game?
I mean, with them beating the Seahawks, I can see them going and beating Cincinnati. I can see it. It's not too far fetched, especially with Burrow tweaking that calf muscle. I mean, he's telling everybody to calm down, but it's obviously affecting your game.
Yeah.
When Higgins barely got any catches, Mixon, trying to do as much as he can, but it's not, he can't carry the team because that's the
Mm-hmm.
quarterback's position. And the
Yep.
defense is not necessarily bad, it's just kind of sus at times. It's not far fetched for me to say, oh, I picked the Rams. I'm gonna go with the Rams. I'm surprised the Rams are playing as well, but I'm going with the Rams.
Yeah, man. I mean, the thing with the Rams that is being surprising is that I'm happy that they finally are getting their steps away from Cam Akers. I think that's the
Mhm.
smartest thing that they've done in a while. Ever since his injury, they were just hyping up his return, and then it was definitely lackluster, and it has been lackluster ever since. And now they're officially put him on the trading block. They made him inactive. They brought in I think Kalen Williams is his name, as
Kyron Williams, yeah.
Kyron Williams as the new starting running back for the Rams, who actually had a really good game last week. And let's not forget the Rams still have Aaron Donald. And
Yeah.
regardless if Burrow's back there or if it's Simeon, who I believe is still the backup, with that offensive line, they are going to abuse them. Now, in saying that, I feel like the Bengals can't go 0-3, but man, I feel like I'd be stupid not to say that the Rams are winning with how the Bengals have been playing recently, because you came out of week one getting a bad loss, then getting your quarterback hurt and losing again. I, I'm going Rams, bro.
Yeah,
Oh, I
even
can't
if
believe
they
I'm
even if
saying
they
it.
bring in Trevor Simeon, I mean, as a backup, that still doesn't
It makes it worse.
escape. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it doesn't escape them from having a bad O line. Just like you said, the Rams have Aaron Donald. If Aaron Donald is healthy, that O line is lunch meat. It's
Aaron Donald
barbecue
was
chicken.
literally getting blocked by 3 offensive linemen last game. That's how much his impact is affected. And I don't know if 3 Bengals offensive linemen is enough to stop him alone.
The defense might win it for them, and the offenses have to do the bare minimum to win the game, to close it out.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
going
very
Rams. I'm gonna
possible.
surprisingly go Rams. I'm gonna go Rams, and it just
I'm
feels
a,
weird to say that against Cincinnati, but I'm gonna go Rams.
I'm surprisingly going Rams too, and it kind of hurts me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but that is our predictions for the week. So make sure y'all let us know in the comments what predictions you think we got right, which ones you think we got wrong. Feel free to talk all the trash you want because we look at it and we laugh at you. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No,
But
sometimes we do.
sometimes we do.
We do.
But let us know what y'all's favorite matchup is for the week. For me, I can't wait to watch Chargers and Vikings. Just 'cause I think it's going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be fun to see who's going to get the first W in that one. Now, do you have a favorite game of the week?
I want to see what's going to happen with Buffalo and Washington. I'm curious.
Buffalo, Washington. That one's going to be a fun one as well.
I'm curious. Yeah.
Two good 12 o'clock games. But all right, guys, we will catch y'all next week. And if you're seeing this on Wednesday, if you'd like, we'll catch you live in a couple hours where we'll be doing our This Week in Sports podcast. So come and check us out for then. If not, we'll see y'all on Thursday for primetime football, Giants versus Niners. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Zach.
My name is Nonpfixion.
Over there. Catch y'all next time. Cheers.
Peace out.